Hi guys, welcome back to Rary Life Creations. So today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable little bow tie using a hot glue gun, fabric, an iron. I used the, what are these called? These, I'll think of the name later and I'll tell you. And I use these little back of a shoe clip to clip bows on your shoes. And I use those just to clip them on your shirt. So with that, I'm going to show you guys. We're going to get started. I'm going to try not to make this video edited at all. Okay, so I do have one side already folded, but this fabric is, I think it's like 5 by 5. It might be a little bit less than 5 by 5 because I wanted to make it smaller, but it might be a 5 by 5 as well. Okay, it's a 5 by 4. I was going for a little bit smaller than this one. This is how big this one is, and I wanted just a little bit smaller. So I do have one side folded, so I'm going to finish that off really quick. So all you do is you take and you fold the edge of your fabric in, and then you iron it down. So on the sides, just fold it in, and then iron it down. And I don't do this on an ironing board. I just do it on my table. It doesn't hurt the fabric, and this is an old table I just don't really care about. And I just kind of press it for a minute so it gets a good hold on it. And then, now that you have both of these folded in and ironed down, you're going to take and you're going to try to find your middle. So it looks pretty good to me. Well, this side's a little bit longer. So you just want to fold them in until they meet each other, like that. And try to make it even, and then iron that down. This one is going to be smaller, which I'm super excited. This one is a 5 by 5. This is 5 by 4, and it's going to be smaller, which I wanted it to be. So let's get wetness. So now you just take it and you flip it over, and I like to bend it in half so that it's even. And then I'm going to find my middle again, which how I find my middle is I bend it in half again. And that tells me that my middle is right here. So then I want to gather my fabric there. So I unfold it, I fold it like this to find the middle, which is there, and then I unfold it, and then I unfold it again, and then I start gathering on one side, and then I gather on the other side. Oops, my gather is coming undone. And now it's gathered, I'm going to straighten it out and make sure it's even, because this is my time to just straighten it out. And so it looks pretty even, so now I'm going to take, what are these called? I can't think of what they're called. Something pipes. And I'm going to put it on there and bend it around it. And then I'm going to twist, and then I'm going to cut it off with my wire cutters. I can't think of the name of these. It's killing me. Something pipes. Pipe cleaners! Got it. Pipe cleaners. And I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm going to straighten out again. And that looks pretty good to me. So I don't want this to be like so flat, so I'm going to try to bend it out just a little bit. Alright. And then you can see a little bit of the inside fabric right here on the outside of this. I'll try to zoom that in a little bit so you can see that. So I'm going to straighten that up with a little bit of hot glue. So I'm just going to bend it back put a little bit of hot glue on it, not very much, and then bend the fabric on the inside and hot glue it down, so once it's like this, you can't see it. And do that to the other side as well. And I mean just a tad of hot glue. You don't need much at all, because you also don't want it to affect how this is going to sit. Alright. And then you want to cover that pipe cleaner there. So you're going to take your fabric, and I'm going to cut off a good chunk of this so I can have it for future hair bows and bow ties. And I'm going to eyeball it. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to cut off a strip of this about 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide. Normally I have my mat down to cut this on, but because I'm using my ironer, I don't have my mat down. Alright. So now that that is cut, what I am going to do is this is going to be folded in half. And I'm going to iron it down. And I don't need the whole thing folded, so I'm just going to do a portion of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just measure it to this and see if I need it smaller or if I want it bigger or how I want it. I'm going to wrap it around the pipe cleaner, and that's a good size. So I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm going to put a dab right here, and then I'm going to lay this on top of that. And then I'm going to wrap it around to the back. And I'm going to put hot glue right here on the back of it. And I'm going to hold it down. And I burn myself so stinking much when I do this, it's crazy. And then I'm going to wrap the other part around it and do the same thing. And then I'm going to cut the extra off. I cut that a little uneven, so I'm just straightening it up. And that's what it looks like so far. My hand itches. And then the last step is I'm going to flip it to the back. I am going to take my clip, which is I'm taking the small version of it, and I'm going to be laying the side with the holes. So the side right here on it. So I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue. And I'm going to lay it on there. And I'm going to hold it in place while it dries. And then I want to snap it closed to make sure it's going to close, right? Which it does. And I'll open it back up. And then right here on the edge, I'm just going to add a little bit more hot glue. Just to make sure I am securing it in place. Make sure it's dry. And then I'm just going to examine it to make sure it's good. I do want to put a tad bit of hot glue in the very back of it, right here on the underneath part of it. Just because this does seem a little bit wobbly more than usual. Only because it's such a small one. And that is it. It is done. And there is your little bow tie. Now I will take and just spray this whole thing down with hairspray to stiffen it into place. But that is your outcome. I think it looks really great. Thanks for watching, you guys.